A man is dead, his pregnant wife paralyzed, and more than 25 rounds were fired in less than 17 seconds. Now, the police commissioner come out and say that the public only see the final seconds of what he claimed to be a 5-minute chase. No bodycam footage was produced. No dashcam footage was produced. And nobody come out up to now and say the individual who was fired upon fired at them first. The officers involved were not removed or even suspended. They were offered counseling, paid for by the public, while there was no mention of support for the pregnant woman who was shot and is now paralyzed. Now, this isn't about the shooting. This is about what happens afterwards. When videos contradict the initial report, where evidence is hidden and accountability stops, where authority begins, where expected to take place. Now, up until the commissioner's press release, everybody was still in a wait-and-see mode. Everybody was, let me hear what they had to say. But that changed the moment it became clear that no officers will be suspended, no officers will be removed, and the primary response to the case is to give the officers counseling. No accountability, no temporary leave while the investigation is ongoing, and no transparency whatsoever. Counseling for the fellas who fired 25 plus rounds in 17 seconds and under. And that decision alone reframed this entire case and how the public now view the situation and the police as a whole. Let me remove all emotions and deal strictly with logic and fact. The TTPS is funded through the national budget. The national budget is funded by taxpayer revenue and national revenue. So when the commissioner they jump up and ball that we're going to give these officers who made this decision counseling, that is on us. That is on the taxpayer money he's talking about. And as we're talking about counseling on the taxpayer on the taxpayer dollar, in the same briefing, there was no mention of counseling, rehabilitation, or state assistance for the woman who was in the passenger seat. The pregnant woman who was shot and is now paralyzed. That silence is not something I imagine or you imagine. That silence is being observed, it's observable, and it reveals the priorities of those in authority. Now, the commissioner repeatedly stated that what the public seen in that CCTV footage is just seconds of what he claimed to be a 5-minute or longer police chase. And if that is true, then other things must be true also. If the police in a police chase for more than 5 minutes, it must have dashcam footage, it must have bodycam footage, it must have radio communication between the base and the police officers who trying to track the car that they're going after, and it possibly supposed to have GPS data showing the police car route and where they're going. Yet none of that has been made public under the statement that is an investigation and you cannot reveal this information until the investigation is done. All right, that's well and good. But it's not harming the investigation to tell the public whether or not the person that was shot so many times with his hands outside the window in surrender, if he had a gun, if he fired upon the police officers, that does nothing to the investigation. That instead, you know what it do? It reinforces the public's knowledge to know that, hey, you know what, in that situation, then yes, we could possibly believe what the police saying. But nobody coming out and saying that. The police commissioner gave a whole press conference talking about how he going to get counseling for the police officers, but he never mentioned once the individual in question come out or brandish a weapon and shot at the police officers. Not once. That was his statement given in the initial report. The absence of that claim is not proof that it happened. It's something notable and something that you should be watching. That was the initial story. Nobody agreeing with that story again. Because let me be real, when lethal force is justified, you're never quiet about it. You come out and say, I use my weapon because my life was in immediate threat. What we saw in the video showed no immediate threat to any life other than the person who died and his paralyzed wife. And this brings us to something else that I touched on in my previous video, because in my last video I say that I hope the police commissioner will just give them a small suspension with pay, make them ride at this or something. I was so wrong. It's worse than that. They're not even getting suspended. They're getting the full salary. They could go back on the road tomorrow if they want to, and they're getting counseling on top of it. But another thing that I touched on in the first video, and you might have seen it if you saw the first video, is the body cameras. We, again, pay so much millions for body cameras for the officers, why they're not wearing it? And if they do wear it, why they don't record altercations with the public? Because let me be real, even the Prime Minister admit this. Body cams are a sworn duty. They are policy. It's not something like decoration. If you feel to use it, you go use it. That is policy. And by not putting on a body cam when you're dealing with the public, you're breaking your policy. And nobody uphold that law with police officers. When something like this come out, even the Prime Minister will say, why all they don't use the body cam? But nobody enforcing the fact that these officers willingly not using their body cam. And this brings me to my opinion. My opinion might ruffle some feathers. But hear this. If there's an altercation or something happened between a civilian and a police, and the police officer cannot provide body cam footage, the police officer's account should come secondary to the civilian. Your duty as a police officer is to wear that, and your policy is to use it. If you refuse to do it, if you talk, oh, I don't know what happened to the footage, then you covering something up some way. The benefit of the doubt should go to the civilian. And by that standard, police officers who are doing the correct thing will use their body cameras. Otherwise, nobody going to believe you. But no, enforcement like that don't happen in the police service. You know what kind of enforcement has happened? We could give you some counseling after you fire 25 plus rounds in 17 seconds into a vehicle with an unarmed man and a pregnant woman. You trying to tell me, is either one out of two things? One out of two things in the situation. And I want people in the comment section to tell me this, right? It's either one out of two things. It's either these officers so untrained that they don't properly know how to handle a situation, how to de-escalate, and how to handle somebody without a firearm. Or two, they're so afraid that any slight movement from somebody, even without witnessing that the person having a weapon, warrant them to fire 25 rounds, more than 25 rounds, in under 17 seconds. Which one it is? Is it blatant incompetence or fear? With this, let me touch on something else, right? That pertaining to the situation that happened here. Because I believe all this time, the same independent senators who voted yes for the home invasion bill, when the entire opposition voted no, granting the home invasion bill to be passed, are the same independent senators who voted no on the Zoso bill. I don't want to call no names, but you could see it on social media. It have a bunch of these members of parliament who in government making videos stating that the same independent senators who voted yes on the home invasion bill are now PNM affiliated, opposition affiliated, because they voted no on this bill. You know why they probably voted no? Because this is my own and so many other people in Trinidad thoughts right now. Go back and watch the police commissioner's press conference where he stated that no SOE regulations were upheld, or they wasn't operating under SOE regulations when they targeted this individual. And he take that as something to be proud of. He take that as showing the citizens that we're not abusing the system. If you're doing this 25 rounds in under 17 seconds to somebody who unarmed and a pregnant woman, without a state of emergency and without the zones are operational, special operational zones, wherever the asset is, what are you going to do with all this extra authority when you get it? That is what people thinking right now. You with your Punisher sticker on your side. And I'm going to break off on a tangent here because I'm sure a lot of people don't know this, and I really don't know if the Commissioner of Police know this. The officers who wore the Punisher patch in the comics were actually corrupted police officers working for the kingpin. What kind of message are you sending? I must be living in the twilight zone. Before the decriers come back again, this is not bashing police, this is not hating police. This is about accountability, especially when somebody like a police officer has so much authority over citizens. This is about setting a standard to make sure that the police accounts of events are accurate. This is about the policy set in place for police officers to always wear their body cam and always have it recorded when interacting with the public. And if public money is used to care for public officers after they do something as stupid as this, the public need to know. And the public need to know why that is not being extended to the person affected by what happened. Because accountability can't be selective. Transparency can't be optional. And trust from the public cannot be demanded. It had to be earned. And all you're losing all the trust right now. The only people who actually feigning trust in the police service is the people who ride in the government, the die-hard government supporters, the people not asking for perfection. We are asking for evidence. We are asking for proof. We are asking for the reasons why this was done. And you're not only failing to produce it, you're insulting the intelligence of the population that you are hired to serve. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the top cop's press conference on this issue, what he said about this whole issue and the way that they're going about it. Are you satisfied with what come out of this? Me, I certainly am not. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But then for this review, is Jeremy, and I'll see everybody in the next one. I just want to say before I go though, I want to thank everybody for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. We're now over the threshold. And nice thanks to every one of you who watch, comment, like, and subscribe to the videos. And I couldn't do it without every one of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll see everybody in the next one. Later.